All right. I think I got it now. Is everybody ready already?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's hit it. Hello, hello, and welcome to our humble little podcast. This is Atlantis After Dark, the greatest place in all of cyberspace. I don't mean to brag, but I can last 30 minutes. And yes, that includes 25 minutes of begging first. It's a very cold day here. Negative 14 is the temperature, so let's heat things up. I'm ready to go already. You are too. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it and meet today's All-Stars. Warming up in the bullpen. The other day, his wife asked him, "Did you marry me because my father left me a fortune?" He said, "Of course not. I'd have married you no matter who left you the money." It's Biff by Adam West. What's up, dude? We can't hear you, buddy. I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think. Yeah. Can you hear us, Biff?
Biff. We can't hear you, dude.
I'll text him in the chat.
He was fine a second ago.
Yeah, he was fine just a second ago. It's like, wow. Maybe the new headset doesn't like him today. I don't know. Maybe he
Happens every time I talk.
I
about
know.
It.
Technical difficulties abound. All right, let's see. Is he fixed? I don't see him. No. Okay. All right. Well, then we'll get back to Mr. Biff. I'll let him troubleshoot his problems on his end. Just know that we are damn glad to have him here today. Next up, he's the Sorcerer Supreme of cyberspace. Last week, he got arrested and put in jail. He goes to his cell, and his cellmate looks at him and says, "Well then, pretty boy, I guess you know what's going to happen tonight when the lights go out. Do you want it with spit or without spit?" He says, with, I guess. He says, "Great." He bangs on the wall and says, "Hey, Spit, the new kid's up for a threesome." It's Retpmus. What's happening, Big Kahuna?
Oh man, just same old, just working my butt off. Never seem to get any rest at all.
Working the old touche off, huh?
Yeah, nonstop. I don't remember the last time I actually had just a day off to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, I know the feeling. Gosh, well, I'm damn glad that you're here today with us because I want to ask you some updates about your game today as well. Hopefully that yields a little bit more fruit for our listeners today, because I know some people are really interested in your progress. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Thanks for being here today, pal. Up next. Last week, she was enjoying some downtime in bed with her boyfriend when he started touching her in an unusual manner. First, he ran his hand across the back of her shoulders and down the small of her back, then down to her side of her thighs. Then he started to feel the inside of her thighs, so she sat back to get her better position when he stopped and rolled over to his side of the bed. She said, "Why are you stopping?" He said, "Because I found the remote." It's Miss Junk. How are you today?
I'm great. You are on fire today.
On fire.
Absolute fire.
Well, thank you very much. I aim to please. It's all I do. All right. Let's see. I think he's our last guy today. Up last. He's the gangster of ganja. Last week he went to Mexico to catch a bullfight. Afterwards he went to grab a bite to eat. When he was eating his sandwich, he saw someone eating 2 huge meatballs. He asked the waiter, who told him it was called El Toro Cajones, and it came from the bull slain at the arena. The next day, he went back to the restaurant and orders the same thing. He says, "I'll have El Toro Cajones." But when they bring out the plate, there's just 2 small meatballs on the plate. He says, "This isn't what I ordered. I want the big ones like I saw last night." The waiter said, "I'm sorry, sir. The bull doesn't always lose." It's Sekju. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I'll take my human balls, please.
Yummy balls.
You know, I've probably been served worse in a Chinese place before, so whatever.
Hey, there's worse things to have in your mouth, I suppose.
It's maybe.
Oh boy,
As the only one
If you
who
go
has
back
been,
to the Retmus scenario, maybe not.
right?
as the only one who's educated on this subject, there probably is not.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it. Oh my God. Welcome to the show, one and all. Y'all are fucking awesome. And I know it's been a hot minute, so thank you to our listeners who are joining us back. I hope that we have a lot of them that still tune in to listen to Double AD after our long break, but if not, we'll work hard to bring you back. And that's what today is all about, because we are going to get right back into the DC world and the DC community. And I want to think about how I want to intro this gong. How do I want to do it? Do I want to say, let's get into some DC comics? Do I want to say, let's get into some DC talk?
Content.
Content? DC content. DC.
Yeah, I like that.
DC content? Okay. Democratically, it's been decided, I think. DC con. All right, let's try this new gong out. Let's get into some DC content. Yeah.
You feel okay?
Yeah, that was all right. I'll get
All
used
right.
to it. Yeah,
Good.
I'll get used to it. So, it is DC time, and I know that all of us are huge DC nerds, so this is not going to be a difficult. Well, for some, it's a difficult question to answer. We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to start posing scenarios here on the show, and I think that'll spark a lot of good conversation about DC Comics in general, the characters, the different universes they inhabit. Next week, or next show, I think, I don't know if it's going to be next week or not, but I'm looking to implement another couple of different questions, including what their favorite Batman series of all time is, or Batman-related series, which should be fun to hear. But this week, I want to focus on a question that I gave them a little bit of time to think about and answer. But this one was interesting, and I had a lot of time to think recently, and this is one of the thoughts that popped into my head. If you could kill off one DC character permanently, who would it be and why? And what would the ramifications be, if any? And I want to start with, you know what? Let's start with Sekju, because I know he's got an interesting answer to start us off with.
Well, I have two.
Right.
So do you want me to do both, or just the one now and circle back to the second one?
No, I want you to do them both now.
Okay.
Yeah, go
So
for it.
mine both. I mean, as I think is known, I am a huge fan of Superman comics. So I'm going to focus there on a couple characters that I don't dislike them. I don't have anything against the characters. I just think it's time to kill them and be done with them. And my first one is Doomsday. I think that Doomsday at this point in the character's existence is basically useless, and the plot devices they're coming up with to make him relevant are weird. They're just weird. Like the whole Doomsday virus infecting Superman and turning him into one it was a story to read, but I don't know if I'd say it was a good one. And again, he's a character who his whole shtick was you can't kill him, or if you kill him one way, you can't kill him again that way. And they've already used him for what would be the most significant thing you could do to him by killing him off in some way. And that was when Imperiex basically barbecued him in Our Worlds at War.
Yeah.
So that was to establish Imperiex as holy shit, he just turned Doomsday into a skeleton. And that was the big deal in that story. So I just don't know where you go with that character from now. They've had him evolve a brain and become somebody who was dedicated to saving Superman in a story with Gog. They've had him have his brain taken over by Brainiac, which you would think the combination of Brainiac and Doomsday's body would be able to destroy Superman no problem, but yet again he loses. So it's just the threat of Doomsday is no longer what it was. Superman has defeated him so many times. Embarrassingly, in Infinite Crisis, Earth 1 and Earth 2 Superman beat him in a single panel. Earth 2 Superman takes him out in one punch. It's just he's a joke of a character at this point. And I mean, I go back to even when he first was conceived, and again, I don't dislike Doomsday, but I just look at it critically, that he was a character made for one purpose. He serves that purpose. And at this point, it's just rehashing that same purpose over and over again. And his origin is just insane. Go back to Hunter Prey and read his origin story out loud. Like, they murdered a baby thousands of times on the planet Krypton, and
Yeah.
somehow its genetic memory turned it into a monster. Just
Yeah.
say it out loud and try not to sound like a jackass, just reading it out loud and objectively. So I don't know. I just think that he's a character that's played out, and what is the ramification of Doomsday disappearing? I don't think anybody cares at this point. Like, when Doomsday shows up anymore, he's not the threat he once was, so who cares? He's
Yeah.
just a random rogue in Superman's
Yeah,
gallery.
he's a useless villain, basically.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
He's served his purpose and he has his place in the Superman legacy of comics.
Sure.
I just don't know what you do with him from here to make him interesting.
Yeah. No, I hear you. They've done a lot of things to the character over the course of, its inception, from its inception to now, and not all of it's been for the positive. Like you said, they've nerfed him a bit. They've played with him a little bit. He's not as strong.
And they wrote themselves into a corner. I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but the series Doomsday Clock did exist, and they've established that even Dr. Manhattan couldn't take Superman out of the picture. And Dr. Manhattan is so vastly more powerful in so many ways than Doomsday.
Yeah.
What is Doomsday's purpose now?
Yeah.
Since his shtick was, I was the guy that killed Superman. Well, not anymore if Dr. Manhattan can't even do it.
Sure. No, you make a good point. You make all good points, I think. And yeah, I read Doomsday Clock as well and thought the same thing. Like, if Superman could, go toe-to-toe with Dr. Manhattan, why is Doomsday suddenly any threat to him?
Right.
But
Right.
yeah.
Like, I mean, again, he's not a character that presents a different threat each time. He's just a physical threat.
Right.
So if Superman is conquering like the ultimate energy manipulation physical threat he could go against, what value does Doomsday bring? So that was my first thought. And then I had another one, because I was thinking, like, Doomsday being eliminated doesn't really impact Superman's story in a significant way, other than okay, we somehow use him to catapult another villain to higher status because they killed Doomsday off, or they wiped Doomsday off the map. And that's when I realized Imperiex had already done that. But the other one I was thinking about is a character that would be relevant that maybe we could eliminate at this point that would seriously impact Superman is Lana Lang. Like,
Okay.
when I think about some of the contrived stories that they put together to bring her back into the picture, once you get past that origin section of Superman's story, like, they've had her be like somehow randomly get hired by Lex Luthor to work for him and run his company. She's had marital issues where she moves to Metropolis and tries to do the single mom thing, which is fine. These are all relevant stories. But I think at this point, just quick question for anyone here. Has everybody seen Lois and Superman and Lois season 3, or do they know about the main plot points of Lois and Superman season 3?
No, I haven't. I don't know.
Okay, well, there's basically what I think they should do is the storyline from that season, but with Lana Lang. A story that takes a character out in such a way that Superman has a very close friend that they cannot save. Like, it's like Superman can't help here. He can only be supportive and do what he can. And honestly, if you want to tie it to something, like, I hate the idea of fridging a character, so to speak. I'm sure you know the trope with Alexandra DeWitt and like Green Lantern, that she got shoved in a fridge by Major Force and started this whole trope of murdering female characters to advance the male character, and like that's his motivation. But to me, with Superman, it's more about losing a longtime friend to somebody that they couldn't possibly save, to a setup that they couldn't possibly save them from. So not like a villain, not like a natural disaster or something that can be solved with fists or strength, something that you can't beat, basically, and forcing him to accept that loss. So I think that would be significant, because that was like a legitimate threat for Superman in season 3 of Superman and Lois, and I thought that was a very impactful story and would carry over well into the comics. And instead of putting Superman's wife at risk, who everyone knows was never going to die, you can put somebody who is important to him at risk, who, yes, we could kill and get away with it.
Sure.
So that's why I felt that.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that would add a different wrinkle to the Superman story arc and character in general, because he did lose somebody more, or one more person than he had. I'm sure it would affect him.
Well, and a lot of times they talk about the fact, like, when Jonathan Kent dies, it was a heart attack. It wasn't something that he could stop from happening, but he always wonders, like, my powers were still developing.
Yeah.
Let him lose somebody at the height of his powers, at the height of his strength, someone close to him that he can't possibly save.
Isn't that basically the Injustice story?
Kind of.
Joker killed.
But I don't want to see it go in like a way that he turns dark. I just
Right.
want to
Right.
deal
Just
with
deal
this.
with it.
Right.
Yeah, and again, it's Joker doing something to him. I don't necessarily want it to be a supervillain doing a thing to him. I want it to be something natural that he can't stop, just like revisiting the death of his father that he was unable to stop when Jonathan Kent has that heart attack.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So here's a question: Does when Doomsday was pretty much vaporized, and just a skeleton was left over, does that mean it's going to regenerate and he can no longer be killed by that attack again?
Yeah, that's what I would assume. I mean, but again, he shows up in later stories and has been nerfed from that power level. So if he's able to tank a shot from Imperiex, die and come back, then he should be stronger than him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But in his future appearances, he still gets beat. So
Yeah, they wasted a character.
yeah. And again, he was kind of created for the what if scenario. What if Superman fought the Hulk? And I hate the fact that they let him die, because you'll never hear Hulk fanboys till the end of time say that he can beat Superman. I can't possibly conceive of a universe where the Hulk can actually beat Superman. But again, I'm a bigger Superman fan, so I'm not going to. So that'll start a fight amongst Marvel fanboys. But
I'm
again,
on Team Soups too.
It was a what if scenario, I think.
Sure. No, for the record, I'm on Team Soups too. I don't think Hulk could take Superman in a fight. That's just me.
He can't get past his plot armor. If the Hulk is literally like not just a hero, he's also a threat that would be considered a job for Superman. And what does Superman always do when it's a job for Superman? He fucking wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what they say with the Hulk is that his technically his strength could be unlimited, like based on his rage. That's the only argument. But come on, I mean, like Hulk probably lost a squirrel girl at one point, So I mean,
Doomsday did.
Yeah, come on, Doomsday. Yeah, of course. Thanos
or Dark
did.
Side.
Yeah,
Dark Side.
Thanos
lost to her. Yeah,
I can't even think there. That's
so
what
it's
I
like
meant.
it's like, come on, all right.
The plot armor. That's why I'm saying Superman would win. Superman always wins. That's his plot armor. So sorry, Hulk, you don't always win. You lose sometimes. Like World War Hulk, he lost. Just saying.
Biff, can we hear you now? No.
Shit.
I see your lips moving, but nothing's coming out. Anyways.
Just switch to like computer speaker.
I know, yeah.
Like just talk at your laptop without the headphones?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can
We'll
hear me.
ask him. I don't know if he can.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you now.
We got him.
Okay.
Yay.
Holy cow.
Write
Look at
down
that.
whatever you just did.
Yeah, no. Oh. I actually muted my mic and then unmuted it, but it wasn't muted the first time, so I don't know what happened. But
Talk is
by the way, can I comment on Lana in Superman and Lois is a fucking babe.
Wait, they hired a hot actress to play someone in a TV series?
Yeah, she's attractive.
Oh my God, she is breathtaking.
I don't know what she looks like.
She was on Entourage. If anybody watched Entourage, she was the guy that put Vincent's girlfriend on Entourage. It's Emmanuel Shikri, I think is her name or something, but I can't remember if I'm saying it right.
Right.
But
well,
yeah, her fame before that was on.
She is amazing.
I'll have to take your word for it. I'll investigate later. I'll guess what I'll call it too. It's called investigative journalism. That way I can report back. Nobody gets mad at me for that.
Although Biff does raise something I didn't consider is they did do a good job with Lana in that show, but again, I still feel like there's yet another example of how are we struggling to make Lana Lang relevant in the Superman universe. Oh, we'll make her the mayor of Smallville. Like, what was she doing before that? She worked at a bank.
Yeah.
It's like, anyway.
She was a tour guide for the Superman Museum in Russia.
I mean, they did it well on the show. I'm not complaining about how they did it on the show, but it's, again, like, here are ways that we're just struggling to bring relevance to this character in the later stages of Superman's life, which is where most Superman stories take place.
Yeah, her name is Emmanuel Shikri.
Okay.
And she is a babe.
Indeed.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
So if you haven't seen Superman and Lois and you like babes, check it out. The mayor of Smallville.
The mayor of Smallville. What a babe.
She is a...
Speaking of babes, let's hear about you, Miss Junk. What is your person that DC, or your character in DC that you would kill off, and why, and what would the ramifications be?
Oh, so many to choose from. I would kill the Ezra Miller Flash. No,
I think that's done, isn't it? I thought he is dead.
I think it's done.
God Almighty. One of the things I like, I actually like, I like to write and illustrate, and that. So I actually put out a little a 48-page graphic novel earlier, like late last year. So one of the things as a writer I was looking at was like, how cool, like, what if, and you're gonna hate me, but what if one of the Wonder Twins was killed and the other one just went batshit crazy on a murderous rampage? I think like imagine Zan walking around with like Jaina's severed hand around his neck, just so he can activate his powers and like then use like. I mean, there's so many weird things like you could do with like using gas and like just like going down someone's nose and like choking them, or like, you know, it just, I would love to see something crazy, because especially since Zan is so, let's be honest, as powers go, he's not the strongest.
No, he gets shit on a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, he could turn into gas, go in their nose, and they just form back to his normal self and obliterate the person.
Right, absolutely. Like, and I imagine, I mean, there's so many things. I don't know if he could change for water into ice, which would expand. I imagine, like you could break rock with that. I wonder what.
You can break steel with that.
Yeah. So I like imagine going into Superman's
he can form
and then freezing and just like causing an aneurysm.
He can form into any media of water, be it steam, be it ice, be it, he's formed all those things before. So
right, and I think he could do some stuff with Jaina too, just like going like batshit crazy with it. But I just like the idea of one of them wearing the severed hand of the other.
That is pretty badass.
And then just going nuts. And DC, if you need someone to write this, I'm available. I know you're listening. I know you're listening because you're everywhere.
That's right.
And you love your fans.
That's why Ezra Miller exists.
Right.
Oh, boy. That was a hell of an answer. Let me tell you.
Thank you. And I know, like, look, I'm not, you know, or you could just kill Gleek and then, you know, both of them.
Oh, no, not Gleek.
Oh, no. Then you get the animal. You get PETA.
What would happen to Gleek? Right. That's a good question. What would happen to Gleek?
Monkeys in refrigerators.
What did you say?
Monkeys in refrigerators instead of women in refrigerators.
Oh, Jesus.
No, Gleek? Yeah, that's where I would go with it. I would just love to see, like, I just think it's just like someone, so when you take like someone so historically weak in the comics and turn them into something nightmarish and evil, I think that's I want to break him. I want to break him.
That's a really good idea.
Make Gleek look like Grodd.
Right, there you go.
Like his body. With Gleek's head.
Right, or maybe like maybe Zan could like start doing like experiments on him to turn him into some superhuman sort of killing machine too.
Yeah.
Like evil experiments, you know, just like go full crazy batshit Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. Gleek is a sewn piece of just mangled body parts and different superheroes that have different powers. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Gleek turned into a giant in one of the Super Friends cartoons. He got turned into like a super Gleek.
He got turned into Grape Ape?
Yeah, he was like if I'm remembering it right, in one of the cartoons he became like huge.
Yeah, same animation studio.
Yeah.
That's Grape Ape.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't remember that episode specifically, but it makes sense. Thank you, Miss Junk.
What was the Super Friends where they had those two just teenagers?
Wendy and Marvin and Wonder Dog.
Yeah.
Where he just wore a cape for no reason.
Yeah, Wendy and Marvin were like the Scooby-Doo kids.
Like tech support. I thought they were like tech support. Or am I thinking the more modern versions?
Yeah.
I think they made them tech support in Young Justice.
I never seen that. Should I watch Young Justice? Is that something that I should put on my radar?
I really liked it. I know Whitty really liked it, so I would recommend it. But again, like, don't look for it to be like a retelling of the classic style like Super Friends. It's very different. A lot of different takes on well, everything. I mean, there's characters that they kill off that have significant impact throughout the remaining seasons, and I won't spoil it for you.
All right.
But they do some things a little bit differently, and they change some characters in ways that have not been done in the comics, but I thought were all fairly interesting. But I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll let you watch it.
Yeah, that sounds good. You know what? I never realized that. I might check that out. In fact, I will check that out. I'm always into checking out interesting content.
4 seasons, and I think they're all 23 episodes, so it's a good chunk of viewing too.
Nice. So, Miss Junk, aside from the murderous Zan and the monstrous Gleek, is that it from you today, or do you have?
That's it.
That's it.
That's
Perfect.
all I got.
Then I want to catch Biff on the back end before his microphone dies again. Biff, who in the greater DC universe would you kill, and why, and what would the ramifications be?
Well, I don't think I was the best one for this assignment. Just because of my basically knowledge being around movies and cartoons and Batman 66, I couldn't come up with anyone that I wanted to kill, and even if I did, I don't know if I could even speak to how it would affect anything. But I did prepare something, because as we know in this group, I'm always the eternal optimist, and I'm always the glass half full guy of the group. So I decided I'll give you 2 names of people I'd like to bring back that just aren't in enough DC content.
You can only name King Tut once.
And King Tut, King Tut is number 1 of who needs to be brought back, because he is a fabulous supervillain. And Sek said earlier, just read a origin story out loud and say, does it make any sense? So a Yale professor of Egyptian Egyptian history or whatever, whenever he gets bonked in the head, he turns into a supervillain. And then upon getting caught by Batman, they bonk him again, and he becomes this sweet little professor and said, what just happened? So you want to talk about a great origin story. I mean, that is the best of how someone becomes and stops becoming a supervillain.
Would he look like Victor Buono?
He would have to.
Okay.
I mean,
good. Then I'm on board. I'm on board.
Yeah, you get like his great grandson or something to play him. And my second one is Toyman.
Oh, okay.
Toyman needs to come back to the Legion of Doom. That's
it.
So I took the half full. I didn't want to kill anyone. I wanted to bring people that I love back to DC.
Let's talk about that for a little bit, because I want to ask a question, and you just made me think of it here, Biff. But what's up with Toyman? Is he a pedo? I mean, really? I mean, is he like a creepy pedo, or is he not? I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on.
No, you're fine.
At least as far as I know in the comics, I don't think it's ever been suggested that he was doing anything sexual with the children.
Okay, good.
I don't think that's ever been inferred. It's just like, it's more like he's more about like torturing them a little bit more so than like diddling them.
Right. Well, yeesh.
Let's not get into child.
Yeah,
diddling.
Yeah. We don't want that topic.
That's pretty rough.
On YouTube.
That's rough, I tell you. No, but I mean, the only reason I ask is because I've suggested the same in the past. Hey, let's, I see Toyman, and I have always envisioned Toyman as this classic, 70s Super Friends outfit. Like, I think Miss Junk just shared an image of him with the three horns on his head, the yellow. He was about toys and how to play with toys, and even how to, beat Superman or anybody with toys. Mm-hmm. But I never saw him as that, and I've seen it so many times on social media and even on Discord channels where people have called him a pedo, and I'm like, really? I don't know.
I don't know. I think that comes from after the storyline where he ended up killing Cat Grant's son. I think some of that started after that.
Okay.
I don't if that I think
Okay.
that's actually the point in time when people started criticizing him for that.
Okay. So I mean, yeah. So it is a thing. I'm just not okay. So I thought that was a weird thing.
Have they ever had a villain who was a pedo?
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. God.
That would be some questionable content.
I know, right?
That would not make
just
the Johnny DC line.
Just heroes. Just Bruce Wayne.
Just
Terrible.
He was at Epstein's Island. Come on.
Oh my God.
Bruce on the list.
He was on the list.
Bruce was on the list. Aaron Rodgers told me.
Aaron Rodgers. Oh my God. Retmus, tell us your pick, pal. I know you had a tough time with this one. You were really struggling.
Well, I mean, there's no character that I would truly want to kill and never let them be able to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really thought about it, and because there's always a good redemption story or some way you could interestingly make someone come back and be cool. But as I thought about it, I do remember a story. This is a long time ago, like 20 some years ago. There was a story by Joe Kelly, and he created a character called Cancer. And basically it was with a K. And basically what it was is Superman got infected, he was given cancer, basically a Kryptonian form of cancer. And they had to get the cancer out of his body, so they used like kryptonite to weaken him so they could get the cancer out of his body. Well, then that cancer became sentient, and it grew into like a form that could like devour other people, I guess, by like giving them cancer and then like slowly just, dissolving their essence. And what I don't like about the character is, one, it's cancer, itself. And they're using this as a character. That's like saying, well, let's use COVID as a main character in the comic books, or let's use the AIDS virus as a character. I don't think they should be using something like that. I can understand bringing points up in storylines, like this person has an illness and you can go with their story about, how they're dealing with it, how it affects people. I understand that, but not create a actual character that is that. But right. But the part that why I disliked it was because they created empathy for that character and they made you feel sorry for the character. And that's why I just disliked it, because he would come back to Superman and he would call him father. You came back for me. You cared. And Superman's trying to stop him because he doesn't realize he's killing people. And, so Superman's fighting him and hurting him and stuff like that. And he was like, why are you doing this? It's like, for love, for you, father, and then he was just like, I just want to be with you. I want to be happy, and you start feeling sad for this creature because he has no idea, what he's doing. But I just dislike the whole personification of that. And that's why I would just get rid of that character. So he doesn't exist, or put a finite end to him basically in the story. It's just not my cup of tea. I just don't like that, the whole way that type of thing is done.
Has that character ever made another appearance other than that one story by Joe Kelly?
I think there has been a little bit. I would have to do some more research on it, but I think he made a brief appearances, and then it supposedly, I think someone said that he turned into a clone or something. Like another one came out and became a clone of Superboy. Like it was weird that what he was able to do. That's the only thing I could think of that like bothered me character wise, that I just don't want to exist.
Retmus is anti-cancer.
Yeah.
He's taking that.
Yeah.
He's taking that stance.
No, I'm not.
Well,
by the way, is the character chemo a reference to cancer as well?
I don't believe so. He was created long time ago.
Chemicals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Atomic Skull, I think, had really bad cancer, and that's like his whole shtick, like how he became Atomic Skull was trying to cure his cancer, I thought.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, that has
same with
a
Metallo,
purpose,
I think.
Deadpool and Marvel actually.
Deadpool,
like,
yeah.
his cancer
Oh, yeah,
actually
that's his
killed
whole
Skrulls. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love this because this is what I was hoping to get. I asked the same question, I get 4 radically different answers, and it's so nice because I love that. Like, Sekju over there, he's giving you 2 answers, right? Because he can't make his mind up. I love that. He gives the 2 answers because equal, and I get it. You want to take people out of the Superman equation. Doomsday is great. Lana Lang is great. Fucking love that. I love Miss Junk's creative take on the Wonder Twins. I love that. I love the whole, image of Zan holding Jaina's hand around his neck, and then, Wonder Twin powers activate. Kapow, form of a space gleek. Love that shit. Love it, love it, love it. Biff, I can't remember what yours was, Biff. And Retmus, you're very, very noble.
He wanted to bring more back.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't kill anybody.
You didn't kill it. That's because you didn't kill anybody. You brought them back to prominence.
Yeah, I wanted to bonk an Egyptian teacher on the head and bring back more toys.
He wants good karma for the Cowboys game later.
Yes,
there you go.
That
would be nice.
But and even Retmus, he even picked a completely obscure character out of nowhere to have the least impact and the most good. So it's just nice to be able to say, this is the kind of thing I like to look at and peek. It's kind of like a peek into people's psyches a little bit to see how they think. But
what about you? You didn't.
Who would you
answer?
See, this is where I did my homework and I didn't do my homework, and I'll tell you why. I would kill off Psycho Pirate.
Psycho Pirate.
Yeah.
But he died.
No, I would kill him off before Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Earlier.
Okay. All right.
Well, if you think about it, Crisis on Infinite Earths can't really happen without him.
It's true. But then you can't have that awesome scene whenever Black Adam fucking puts both of his fingers through his whole fucking mask and out the back of his head in Infinite Crisis.
But what I'm saying is the death of Psycho Pirate, as a consequence of that, Crisis never happens as it happens.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Are you saying because he used the mask on Pariah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess. I don't know. It might still go very poorly, though. I don't think that resolves the crisis by any means.
Well, yeah, it probably does. Anyways, that's my pick. Psycho Pirate.
I like it. Psycho Pirate.
He can die. He can croak.
No, at least he did die too. You got, like I said, there's a very satisfying panel of him getting his face bashed in, basically. No, but what's he say? What's Black Adam say? I think he says no more funny faces, and then he just fucking destroys it. At Retmus, can you find that one online and post it in the chat?
What is it again?
It's Black Adam killing Psycho Pirate in Infinite Crisis.
Yeah.
Psycho You've got to see it.
Psycho Pirate feels like one of those characters where someone's
He's vicious.
I gotta see this now.
I know. That's why I said AB's gonna be happy to see this.
What's that, Miss Junk?
I was gonna say that he seems like one of those characters where someone's like, "I have a great name for a character. All right, just what do you, and they say, "All right, Psycho Pirate. Well, what does he do? I don't know. All I have is a name.
He sits in jail.
Right. So wait, he wears
that's what he does.
What is he wearing? Why does he wear that? That doesn't look like a psycho or a pirate.
I forget. Somebody gifts him the Medusa mask that sets him up as the Psycho Pirate. I don't remember that story well enough though.
Well, he also has like a theater mask thing on his chest.
Yeah, no, that was like his little symbol.
Like, all right, is that?
Yes, there it is. How do you like that, AB?
He might be okay.
See if you can throw that up on YouTube too, or would you have copyright issues?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna.
Oh, darn it. Darn legal stuff.
Oh yeah, Black Adam. Cracker.
No more
Shunk.
faces.
No more silly faces. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So there you go. Psycho Pirate dead.
Nice.
So AB, now you're gonna have me singing a tune all day. I'm gonna be singing the song from Psycho Dad, from Married with Children. Who's that riding in the sun? Who's the man with the itchy gun? Who's that man who kills for fun? Psycho Dad. Psycho Dad. Psycho Dad.
Such a good show.
Oh.
Do you?
Yes.
If I have to ask you, anytime somebody has 4 touchdowns in a single game, do you call it an Al Bundy game?
Sleeps with a gun, but he loves his son. Killed his wife because she weighed a ton. Psycho Dad. I'm gonna be singing that all day because of the
I love
psycho
that show.
pirate. Because of the psycho pirate from DC.
That's right. Well, gang, I thought I was going to take some time at the end of the show here to ask everybody how they were doing and talk to Retpmus about his upcoming game here.
Do it.
So, yeah, what's been going on, everybody?
I say we start with Retpmus.
Yeah, let's start with Retpmus. What updates do you have for the game on tap for us today, Bal?
Well, it's coming along very well. I'm implementing all the visual effects and animations for the characters, and it's they're actually looking a lot better than I thought they would. I'm implementing stuff that DC Legends and like a lot of other games just don't implement, like some different status effects and things like that. Instead of just having a debuff over their head, they're actually doing things like if they're stunned, they're wobbling around with stars over their head, or if they're invisible, they'll actually like phase out and then there'll be like a translucent character standing there instead. I'm trying to do things like that to make it just more visually appealing and more fun. On the game side itself, I'm not coding right this second because I'm working on assets, just creating a bunch of characters to put into the game. And as soon as I want to have like a minimum of 20 characters before the game's actually released. That's not counting other characters I will have that gets released after that. But I'm just saying like a base set of 20 unique characters. I'm trying to wipe those out. And I'm trying my best to get this done. There's just so many different little things that need to be done. I mean, I could sit here and probably talk a few hours just on the different processes and just the little things that we all take for granted, within playing these games that you have to do. Like you have to have this step before this can happen, and you have to have this before this because this relies on this other one, and it becomes like this whole big tree that loops around to itself and calls back to, and you're just like, dang on. So I'm just trying my best. I want to try and have some beta testing done by the end of March, the very beginning of April. So people can start trying it out, giving me their feedback, like what they don't like, so that way I can change things, update stuff. If there's no bugs, my goal was to get it completely publicly released the middle of the year. That's what I'm shooting for. So, but with everything, there can be something that stops it. But so far, it doesn't seem like anything is going bad. Everything's actually going good. So fingers crossed. And you guys can be testing out some stuff and letting me know here in a few months.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. I know we're all looking forward to that.
Is the evil Zan one of the original 20 characters?
The evil Zan.
I don't know if can that be considered public domain? No.
Yeah. Speaking of public domain, I am so ticked off about public domain. And let me just bring this topic up. I know we could have a whole episode on this, AB, as well, because like almost all of, like, let's just say Disney, for example. Disney made themselves off of public domain characters. Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, all those were public domain stories and characters that they took and created their own version and made billions off of this,
Sure.
over time. Right. And then what they do is like a lot of these companies, what they do is so dirty and underhanded. It really ticks me off. For example, one of my favorite characters is Tarzan. Tarzan's been around forever.
Yeah.
He is a public domain character. You know he's been that way for a long time, right? So other people could use Tarzan and make TV shows, movies, things like, because he's public domain. The problem is the people that were part of the original person's estate that made Tarzan trademarked the name Tarzan. So that is their trademark. So you can never create that character and put the name Tarzan on it because it's trademarked showing that character. So they just essentially made that protected for eternity because a trademark never expires. So you never get to use a public domain character. And that's the whole point, was to inspire creativity. That's why the copyrights expired, so we could use them. But there's companies that do that. And of course, Disney is doing the same thing. You can't use the word Mickey Mouse, which is understandable. That's kind of like their character for their company. That's like their intellectual property. I understand something like that. But after the original author of Tarzan, passed away, this group gets together and trademarks the name Tarzan. And that just ruins it for everybody. So you can't make any original Tarzan stories now because you can't put that name on it. And you can't say like, well, I'll get around that and I'll just say Tarzan with an S instead of a Z, and you still can't do that because they can sue you for that because I forget what it falls under, but it's still copyright or trademark infringement. I've been doing a lot of looking into things to make sure that I can use certain characters, because there's characters I want to use. Like I can use Robin Hood, of course, but I want to make sure that, nothing comes back on my company once I get these characters out. And I was so gung-ho. I wanted to put Tarzan in there, and I wanted him to have one of his moves where like apes would just trample across the screen and start beating on the characters like an AoE attack or something like that, or a lion or anything. But I can't use him because of that. Now I could use the character, but I cannot use that name Tarzan.
Can you use King of the Jungle?
I think maybe King, but they trademarked
Jungle King.
They trademarked Lord of the Jungle and Lord of the Apes. They've trademarked they even trademarked Jane.
The original book was like super racist too. Like it was written in like the 1800s. It was like the late 1800s, or maybe it was like early 1900s. But it was like he would basically go in and just attack a tribe of non-whites, and he was just like, he was actually really smart too, apparently. But it was like now you're just like, oh, wait, you did what?
Yeah, that really just bugs me as I'm going on in my adventure of creating characters and stuff. It just that Edgar Rice Burroughs, they trademarked that name, and it just, so how can you use a public domain character without using their name?
Retpmus, what you got to do is just slightly tweak the name, have them ride an animal from another fantasy series like Harry Potter, for example, and then put them in a movie called Rebel Moon and make lots of money.
Name him Tarnaz.
Well, you can't use anything that can infer that same name because it can break the trademark.
Just name him King of the Jungle and have him have Jane's severed hand tied to
exactly.
Jane's severed hand. Oh.
Well, even like Harry Potter, like a three-headed dog, that's right from Greek myth. I mean, that's stuff like a lot of the stuff they had, like griffins are from but I digress.
Now see, there is a thing like, for example, King of the Jungle, like it is trademarked, that word, but that's for like I think it's a clothing company when I looked into it. So you can still use King of the Jungle on a character because that doesn't infer on their trademark as a clothing company. So you could still use the name Tarzan as long as it doesn't reference a character that was raised by apes that was in the jungle and you have a picture of that. As long as you would say like, well, I have the Tarzan line of clothing, but it has nothing to do with the Lord of the Jungle, if you get what I'm saying. So they can't trademark that name and say you can never use that name for anything. It's just that specific item is what they trademarked on, and that's why it bugs me, because that's like a mega loophole that they can get around their copyrights expiring so they can have it forever.
How about your character being named Jungle King?
Maybe. I remember there was a video game out called Jungle King that was a ripoff of Tarzan a long, long time ago.
Oh,
I
that's
do
right.
remember that.
I'm suing you too.
That was Atari, I think.
Was it? I can't
did.
remember who made it, but I do remember that
Yeah.
game.
Just tweak it.
Yeah,
remember that.
I remember
Star.
swinging on a vine.
Yeah,
You were
and you
swinging
jumped
on
in,
a vine,
and there
and
was
you had to
like
get to the
alligators.
end
So alligators
save
would
a
come at
woman.
you, and you had to stab them in the face with your knife.
I remember playing that game.
Sorry to go off on a little tangent on that part. It's just, there's some things from my childhood that I really enjoyed, and I was like, oh, great, this is my chance to make things that I always wanted. And then I get like, no, you can't. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
It's public domain. But it's
Didn't Jungle King?
Retpmus,
Didn't they even do that? Oh, that thing.
yeah.
How
Yes.
would that work though, Retmus, if you like took a character like Tarzan, for example, but you like turned it into an animal version of Tarzan, so it's not a guy that it was raised by gorillas. Why not make it a gorilla raised by people in the city that does like the
Well, I
opposite
mean,
of Tarzan?
you could.
I don't know.
Well, I
Would
mean,
you
you
consider
could.
that?
I guess that could fall under the lines of parody.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
humans
then
just
you
treated
can
him.
you can get
Sorry.
by with that, but still, it's not the character. It's
Yeah.
something new.
A gorilla raised by lions.
That's the ultimate killing machine right there.
Right?
Oh, that would be funny.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Anyway, that's my spiel.
Yeah. But like I said, we're looking forward to seeing what you come out with that game there, and I'm really sorry about the whole, character.
Tarzan bullshit.
Yeah, Tarzan
Not
bullshit.
Tarzan bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tarzan bull. That's what we call it from now on. The Tarzan bullshit.
Well, maybe if I become successful, I can reach out and actually license it for real and create the character someday. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go. Chin up.
Yeah.
There you
Things
go,
to look
buddy.
forward to, right?
That's
So you're
right.
talking about a group of people that trademarked that thing. They're probably dicks. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's sound advice.
And it'll last forever because as
Yeah.
long as the original books are still published, then that trademark lasts pretty much for eternity.
Yeah.
It's when if they never release any of the original works again, like, oh, we're releasing print number 5,000 or whatever. If they don't release any new versions after so many years, a trademark will expire. But they're releasing them every 3 years or 5 years, just a new print so they can keep that trademark.
So I wonder how that's going to apply, like as we move towards the future in the world of digital media, when you no longer print things. Like you don't need to publish it anymore if there's a digital copy of it.
Well, it's still in commerce. It's still working commerce.
Okay.
So if, the whole trademark thing is you have to prove that it's being used in commerce. So if I have a web page up and I call it, Sumter Studios, for example, that I trademark that. So that is being used in commerce. I don't have anything actually physically published anywhere, but it's trademarked for my company. And you can do the same thing for toys or stories or whatever. So you can get a trademark, but a trademark is supposed to refer who made it. So I don't know how Tarzan refers who made it, but I don't know.
Here first, though, Retmus owns the Sekju trademark.
So since this podcast is not monetized, I can use Tarzan in the title of this show and really fuck with them. How about that?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Well,
Yeah.
you can reference stuff. Yeah, we're not actually as long as we don't have an image of the character Tarzan up there and use the name Tarzan to associate it to that, then it's not breaking the trademark.
Well, let's test it. No, I'm kidding.
Tarzan, king of public domain.
Right?
That's what I should call it. Tarzan,
Yeah.
king of public domain.
King of public domain. And dress him in a business suit so he doesn't look like. Just give him long hair,
He never actually even goes to the jungle. He's in the corporate jungle, baby.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, 'cause
Jungle
his
made out of
gorilla was
concrete.
raised by stockbrokers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those lions.
So what's everybody been up to, man? I feel like we ain't gotten together in a while, and let's just shoot the shit for a bit. And then suddenly everybody just go.
I've restarted playing Golf Rival on my phone, which I think Biff played at one point and enjoyed too. That is a fun, stupid game.
Golf Rival.
Golf Rival, yeah. I downloaded it once for Tapjoy.
Yeah.
Got my Tapjoy Tims, and it's a fun game to just keep on playing because you don't really need to spend any money at all, and you just play little, par 5 little golf things. Finger golf, I call it.
I went into my game center or whatever. I can't remember what app it was, though, and it was horrifying because it tells you exactly how long you've played every game you've ever played, like down to the minute.
That's nice.
So I basically spent 265 days of my life playing DC Legends. So less than a year. So I got that going for me. But I remember looking at it and looking at all those fucking stupid Tapjoy games, like listed, like I played this game for, 5 hours and this game for whatever. And it was actually very funny. But
By the way, I dated someone who
horrified.
played finger golf, and it took him 3 or 4 tries to get in the right hole.
Oh my God. What was that golf game called again?
Golf Rival.
Golf Rival.
Mine or that one? Which one?
Find the hole, it's called.
Find the hole. I mean, that's the objective.
Put it in the hole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hole in, they call it, from what I
Right.
understand.
Try and sink.
I'm not a golfer, so
Try and sink a
hole out.
6-incher.
You call it a hole out.
hole out.
Yeah, when you put the ball in the hole, you hold out.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was a prolapse.
Why is Golf Rival
Oh,
always telling
yeah.
me hole in? Put his hole in then.
Prolapse.
I mean,
Yeah, hold out. Isn't that what a prolapse is? When you
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what it sounds like.
You know what a prolapse sound like?
That's what I'm saying. Well, no, like, you're saying when you pull your asshole out, isn't that the prolapse?
Yeah.
That's actually
Isn't that a wrecked sphincter?
Yeah. Oh, that's a wrecked one, all right.
that would actually be
Oh my
Miss Junk's
gosh, you
power
guys.
in the Retpmus game. Would be, a prolapsed asshole.
Oh.
We're gonna see that coming.
They could be Sekjus though. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well,
It would be. It
that's
would
not
be
one
weird.
of my power moves. It's not on my list of power moves.
Maybe it could be a move like when the two of them are on the same team, they
My
tap each
asshole
other's
has enough
fists.
problems without it being on the outside. Thank you.
Wrecked him. No, I killed him.
Also have been playing, DC Heroes and Villains, which, it's, the whole match 3 thing isn't great, but at least I finally unlocked Superman.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They can't do that yet. So feel bad for them. Hopefully they get him soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got him unlocked. I've got him, actually, he's my strongest character in the game right now.
Yeah, mine too.
Where do I have him at? He's at level 56.
you're an animal. I'm
Me?
only at level 55.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my
only 55.
Yeah, I'm on 56. And he is at 43,715.
Whoa.
So,
My Superman's over 40.
right.
And he's
Mine's
my
over
second
9,000.
Over 9,000.
Oh, you dorks. Yeah, no. And then, of course, I'm followed closely by Wonder Woman, who's my second highest character at 36,304. But they're both tier 10, so.
I feel like they're my top 2 as well. And
Yeah.
if I had the good Batman unlocked, I would have him in the same boat, but I don't have the good Batman unlocked yet, so.
Yeah, I've got the good Batman unlocked. The problem is trying to find the Zodiac crystal that it takes to get him. I could eat 6 more of those bastards.
The Zodiac crystal?
Oh.
Are those
Yeah.
like the purple ones that Aquaman uses too?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that one doesn't show up in the shop that
No,
often.
no. You wait forever for it. So
I got the good Batman all the way up to 10.
did you?
Well, yeah. Oh, well, not full 10, but
Right.
all, to the one where you get
It says 10.
the gold, where it says 10. Exactly.
Right.
where it
You're
says
in
10.
gold. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
I'm in gold. I'm using the gold. By the way, I have geared 3 gears that are gold.
That's exciting.
Wow.
I have Grodd 9.2.
Wow.
I have 2 gears done towards 10 for Gorilla Grodd, and I have 1 for Scarecrow.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And then I have Batman. I almost have Superman to where it says tier 10. And I have the good Batman to tier 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm jelly of that, man. I've been trying to get
my top power character is actually Parasite.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's pretty hot. Yeah.
Parasite is my number 1, and Superman's my number 2, and then Grodd 3, good Batman 4.
Yeah, Parasite's been up there for me. He was my number 1 for a very long time, but Parasite is powerful.
I didn't realize it, but Beast Boy is actually my number 2.
Yeah.
I didn't really see it at such a high power level because, again, he's a full tier behind Superman.
Yeah.
And he's sitting right next to him, though.
Yeah, and Beast Boy is up there for me as well. Yeah, behind, right in front of Vandal Savage, who is, again, I don't understand how, but he's a beast too.
He's really good.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I got to work on mine. He's still not even full tier 7, so.
Yeah.
Work in progress.
Who knew we were going to talk about frickin' DC frickin'
Heroes and villains.
Heroes and villains. Yeah, thank you.
That's what we've been doing lately. That's it.
And no one killed off any of our top heroes and villains characters today.
No.
Right.
Did they do that? Are they taking heroes out of the circulation?
No, it's saying we didn't choose any of those to kill off.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, right.
Doomsday is not in the game.
Nope.
Zan is definitely not in the game. Psycho Dad is not in the game.
Psycho Dad.
I could live without
Psycho Pirate.
I mean, if I had to pick one from the Ross, Jeremy Copperhead, I don't care if he dies.
Oh, there's tons of people
guys.
where I don't care if they die in DC. Like, for example, I see 0 value in Blue Beetle.
I thought you were going to say like Dog.
But I could never say, well, here's what would happen if I killed off Blue Beetle, or I don't have any reason for wanting to kill off Blue Beetle other than I just don't like the character.
Did you see the movie?
No.
Blue Beetle. They just introduced another Blue Beetle. That's what happened on
Yeah.
Ted Ford. They've played that game. They've killed a Blue Beetle. They just made another one.
Yeah. Every time he dies.
No, it's
kind of like a Green Lantern, you know? Every time a lantern dies, the ring flies off and finds another host.
Yep. I always thought that was pretty funny. Whenever a lantern dies, they always make it a point to show the ring saying, searching for new host before it flies away. Like, these guys are all expendable. To me, that was always like, when they talk about like World War II and like the Russian soldiers would have to like pick up the rifle of the person that died in front of them. And I'm just like, shit, that's like the Green Lantern Corps in a nutshell.
So
and a lot of times the ring leaves before they die.
Yeah, they're just laying on the ground dying, and the ring's like, please, I'm out. I gotta find another.
Right, but I mean, so
Good luck with that wound.
Help me understand this, and I don't understand this, but if the ring selects another person, right? How does that other person know where the lantern is to recharge the fucking ring?
Well, depending on which version of Green Lantern you're reading, occasionally they get like taken to OA for training. Other times they get like a basic instruction on how to use the ring. Like, I'm pretty sure that when Abin Sur crashed, Hal Jordan was given the power battery and a brief like instruction on how to use it. Like, he wasn't totally clueless. I can't remember what happened when Guy Gardner got the ring, but I'm pretty sure there's usually some sort of like little instruction that comes along with it. I know Kyle Rayner was completely flying blind the whole time whenever he became Green Lantern until he just sort of like figured his shit out because Ganthet like gave him a ring and then just went poof. So I don't know.
Oh yeah,
that's a good question. That is a good question. Just like I don't know. Like, put this thing on. Ooh, that's shiny. I think Ryan Reynolds had the best response for it, even though the movie was shitty. His response to just getting the Green Lantern ring and waking up with a costume was pretty on point. Like, he was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my god. Well, gang, you guys have been awesome today, but we are. Oh yeah, we're at the right amount of time. So let's take it around the horn and get everybody's last word today. And we're going to start, as always, Retpmus. Take us to church, pal.
Well, I just want to thank everybody, for showing up today. It's really nice to take a break, from work and just life in general, escape a little bit, BS with my friends. So thanks for being here. Just want to tell everybody that you do need to take some time. I need to practice what I preach because I know it is very healthy for your mind as well as your body. When we get wrapped up in things, we tend to ignore the outside world. I have a habit that I'll come in and I'll sit down and I will spend 16 hours straight in front of the computer, and I'll forget to eat because I'll just be so involved, and my wife has to actually bring me food and she gets mad at me because I'm not eating. So, I mean, I can see that, and I trying to do my best to make that a reality as well. Get up, maybe do a little bit of exercise so I don't get way too out of shape. But overall, just take some time out of your busy schedule. I know it's hard, but it's worth it in the long run.
Well, thanks, buddy.
Yes, it is.
Truer words have never been spoken. All right, Biff, you get the next word, pal.
A little touched her, so we're told. Kills his wife because she had a cold. Might as well because she was getting old. Psycho dad, psycho dad, psycho dad. No, and no, you actually, one of the things I have been doing recently, because Rhett just mentioned staying in shape and things like that. For Christmas, I received a PlayStation Virtual Reality 2. And I think I've lost like 3 inches off my waist already from working out with it. And it's fun. Like, so, yeah, if anyone's looking for a fun way to work out, virtual reality is really cool, and you get a really, really solid workout, but you feel like you're gaming, which is really cool. So
nice. Congrats, man.
Yeah,
that's not too bad at all.
Yeah,
and that's just like a VR you buy, or is it tied to your PlayStation?
Well, it's tied. This one's tied to PlayStation.
Okay,
but you can buy ones that aren't.
Okay.
So this is, I got the PlayStation version because I actually wasn't going to buy it because it's expensive, but my mom actually bought it for me for Christmas because my wife told her that I wanted it because I wanted to start working out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only really like I only play like 2 games because I'm doing it really for fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And the downside of PlayStation's virtual reality is it doesn't have a ton of games yet. But the games it has are super awesome and super immersive. That, from what I understand, is a little better than the MetaQuest. That is the other major VR thing. But the MetaQuest has a lot more games. But from what I understand, the PlayStation the graphics are amazing. So I've been playing Creed, which is a boxing game.
Okay.
Not the band.
Exactly. Not the band. No, they don't even play Creed songs in it.
Okay.
It's based on the like I'm being trained by Sylvester Stallone and boxing all of these people. It's like, it's like a cool video boxing game that gives you a workout. And I've been playing this other game that's like an actual personal trainer that like takes you through like a body combat class, and you're just punching things that are coming at you, and it's really cool. So I've been getting in a little better shape.
Good deal.
I got to a weight I was very uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I'm there.
So that's it. And it was not a New Year's resolution because I don't believe in that bullshit. They started this December 27th.
Good for you.
When I set up my VR. So not a New Year's resolution, doing it for fun. And I finally found a workout that I enjoy.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hello, my friend, we meet again. It's been a while. When should we begin? It's Creed.
Did they write the song Hero, or was that just the guy from...
No, that was Nickelback. That was
right.
Chad Kroger or whatever from Nickelback or whatever, yeah. And they say that a hero can save us.
Nickelback making their first appearance on AAD.
I mean, is there a difference between Nickelback and Creed? Be honest.
Pretty close.
Yeah, they're both close, but on a high level view, they're both very close. But in reality, I think Creed was like a Christian rock band.
Right. I think Creed has better PR. That's the only reason why people don't equate them with the worst band ever.
Yeah.
I only remember Creed from that animated movie Titan AE and the song "Can You Take Me Higher." That's the only thing I remember about Creed.
Yeah. Oh boy, I think the lead singer of Creed went off. I think he thought he was Michael Jackson, and just, God, what a rise to fame and what a fall for him. Yeah, and I think they actually regrouped into a different band, and the different band was actually a lot better. I think they had Miles Kennedy singing for him instead of Scott, what's his face. But I digress. See, that's what I know these bands, man. I don't want to talk about rock and roll on the show. Yeah, I'm embarrassed, by the way, that I have to know things about Creed and.
Wait, you know the people in the bands, or you just know about them?
I know about them. I don't know the people in Creed individually. No.
Oh, so they're not coming over tonight.
No. We're not going to jam tonight.
Okay. Because I would feel weird bad talking your friends. That's all.
Yeah, that would. Sorry, AB, we didn't mean it.
No, I don't care. No,
I have Creed coming over today, but it's Apollo Creed's son in a video game, and we're gonna do some boxing.
Does it look like Brandon Michael B. Jordan?
Well, no, because you're Creed.
Oh, you're Creed. Oh, okay.
I'm Creed.
Okay.
So I look a little darker in skin color. No, but it's cool.
Gotcha.
You hold your fists up in front of your face, and you can see your gloves.
So it's like the boxing game
right there.
Have at Dave and Buster's. You just go and stand.
It's a boxing game, but you have to be very. There's a learning curve involved in it because you can move around, and it does take a picture of your room, so it alerts you if you're about to hit something
or something.
Yeah, but you move around during it, and I guess my first time doing it, I almost punched my TV because I was moving too close. Yeah, and my wife's like grabbed me. And so I've learned that now how I do it is I have the back of one of my heels against my couch while I'm doing it. So I always know where I am.
Yeah.
You learn little tricks, but
things you don't think of when you're getting virtual reality. I might punch my television.
Yeah, I might. Yeah, because I was charging after this guy to try to knock him down.
Yeah.
And I just was inching closer and closer to.
I can totally see it happening too.
Yeah. But it does tell you, like, because it scans your room. But I was still getting close, but I wouldn't have hit it. But it just because it starts to tell you, and the headset will vibrate a little bit if you get out of your space that you're supposed to be in.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
Well, righteous man, was that all you had for us today?
Yeah. No,
all
that's
right.
it. Just a little verse of Psycho Dad and a little VR update.
Very cool. Well, we wish you the best of luck on continuing with your fitness journey.
Yes.
There. Thanks, buddy. All right, Sekju, you're next up, pal.
I was just so much thinking about Creed. I was just thinking about how I'm gonna go get higher in a few minutes. But anyway, I just, I was reading and watching some fun scientific stuff and just wanted to remind everybody as these months approach and we hit the winter time to take comfort in the fact that cold doesn't technically exist. Cold is just the absence of heat because there is absolute zero, but there is no maximum temperature. So you're not actually cold. You're just missing the heat.
Okay.
Yes, like Hulk's rage.
Yes.
Damn.
He'd still lose to plot armor.
Damn. It is very cold in space then, huh?
Superman's cosmic plot armor.
Cosmic plot armor.
But anyway, yeah, just,
By the way, all the movies
stay warm.
all the movies get it wrong. Outer space isn't cold.
Yeah, you'd boil if you were out there.
Yeah, you boil
from the vacuum, but it's not because it's hot.
Right.
The vacuum causes that. I believe the
radiation though too. Isn't there like lots of radiation in space?
Oh, there's everything out there.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
But all the movies that show like people freeze when they come out of the ship or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's not accurate. You'd more
Yeah.
or less explode, like from the pressure, right? If coming from a depressurized situation.
Well, it all depends. If you jumped out and you exhaled all the air from your lungs, it would take more time to pull it out of your body. I'm not an expert in that field, so I can't truly tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But it just, for some reason, they got the idea that it was freezing in space. I mean, does the sun not kind of warm the earth? I know it has greenhouse gases get warmed up and that makes us warmer, but I mean, that sun heat still radiates. So why would it stop in space if you were outside in space?
I swear I was watching something too that said with the sun, like the energy produced at the center of the sun takes like anywhere from like 10 to like 10 million years to get from the center of the sun to the surface of the sun, but then only 8 minutes to get to Earth. So you got to imagine it's pretty warm out in interstellar space for the most part, I would think.
Let's go find out. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Field trip.
I mean, I find contradictory stuff. Some articles that I've read say space is super, super cold and it's this many Kelvin. And then I find other ones that say, no, it's just basically like a room temperature. So I don't really know. But most of the stuff I've read said that it's misleading and it's actually kind of it's not going to freeze you is what I've read. So I'd like some definitive, like an astronaut or something, say, hey, it is not cold or it's freezing.
Well, anyway, cold is a feeling. It's not a thing. It's
right.
It's not actually a thing.
Well,
thank you, science.
It's cold here. It's -10 right now. So
that's how you feel.
No, that's the temperature outside.
You're feeling the absence of the heat, my friend. The absence of the heat.
Well,
which
and
is an actual thing.
A lot of heat is missing.
Yes, a lot of heat is missing then.
You're well far above absolute zero, though, so you'll be okay.
By the way, it was 60 degrees here yesterday.
Oh,
that's weird. It was cold here yesterday. How'd you get weather?
I have no idea. But
it's insane.
Yeah, because you're north of me.
Yeah. No, the weather's been weird. And I hate it. I hate this time of year because it's always raining now. But it's so warm. So when I walk my dog, my dog hates being dirty. But like when there's standing water on the ground and it's 50 degrees in January, it's like a muddy mess.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God I woke up this morning to it being 31 degrees. So at least the ground froze a little bit overnight.
See, our problem is we've been having lots of rain that should be snow, and then it drifts into freezing, and then we have like frozen roads everywhere.
Right.
Recently,
so we have I've been below freezing like twice lately.
Yeah. At least it warms back up. Like this morning, it was below freezing, and now it's already back above. So whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I got, AB.
Hey,
that's it.
You know what, Sekju? I think you were kind of right about that because I was doing a little bit of research and stuff, and I mean, if you were in deep space away from any heat source, like the sun or whatever, then it could be like absolute zero.
Right.
I mean, because there's nothing there. But, every show we see, we're always by a planet or there's the sun nearby, or something like that.
Right.
But it's supposed to be that there's like no medium in space.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing like air or water, to conduct heat, that we feel. So all that is basically sucked away from us when we go out there. And that's why they do the portraying of freezing, but it causes the blood to boil. And, it's really just the heat being stripped out of our body.
Yeah.
So it's kind of vicious.
Well, it doesn't sound like,
Yeah.
Don't die in space. Die on terra firma.
It's the inner gas law. PV equals NRT.
What about peanut butter?
No, PV equals NRT, where pressure.
No, sorry. I'm a very casual science person, not an actual science person.
There you go with your fancy smarts.
Yeah. Today you were a meteorologist. But...
Oh, Miss Junk, you give us the last word today.
The last word is Creed. That's the word. No, I've been a little under the weather. All I have to say to everyone, vitamin D. There's a lot less sunlight. Vitamin D, it's easy to get depressed. There's less, when you go outside, it's cold. It's colder. Well, your body radiates heat and loses because there's no such thing as cold. I'm sorry. But no, you wake up. It gets dark earlier. It's easy to get depressed. So just self-care, vitamin D, and and then find something. I would like to say there's something more going on in my life, but I found a video of someone playing Risk online in the World Championship and saw that it had 2.7 million views, and I watched 2 hours of it. I don't know why. So I have nothing going on.
Don't feel bad. I want to watch that now.
I know. I'm like, Risk, that's still a thing. And then sure enough, there's like a World Championship.
Okay,
and I'm like, all right.
So I have to ask: Did they start by building up in Australia and Papua New Guinea and build up there? Where did they start?
No. I can't remember. I think it was a little weirder. It wasn't like the board game in that it was all online. It was all streamed on Discord. But there are these things, these little like blizzards or something like that, which would close off a territory. So basically, so he ended up getting North America, and he had only 2 points that he had to defend, really. But also, it's like I guess when they play, they just if someone had Europe, they were just like, yeah, I'm not going to attack you. You can have Europe. I'm going to try and get this. And they were sort of like letting people get the draws. It was very weird.
Wasn't Europe the biggest pain in the ass to defend in traditional Risk?
That's what I mean. And I mean, like someone had Africa, South America, and they were just like letting them have it, sort of thing. They're just like good neighbors, I guess.
It's crazy. There's no room for diplomacy in Risk.
And then at the end, they just went ham and just started going off on each other. But I don't know.
Ukraine is weak.
Come to Siam. Come to Kamchatka.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Junk. And thank you to everyone out there who tuned back in and lasted this long. We appreciate you guys so much. That's all I got to say. We want to thank all of you for taking the time to be with us today. Get on our website, atlantisafterdark.com. Grab some cool swag from our merch store. Get on Discord. Talk directly with us and then hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. For BIFF, for Retpmus, for Miss Junk, and for Sekju, we'll see you all right here next time for another awesome episode of Double AD. So long, everybody. Yeah, there we go. I miss the fuck out of you guys.
Same here.
Oh my God.
I was able to make it today.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, because it's so fucking cold, or because there's such a lack of heat.
Yeah,
Exactly.
lack of heat.